So let's start with last night. There was a fire at the Albany, it's actually technically Skodak. Okay. Skodak, which is right next to Albany in upstate New York. This happens to be the warehouse that's about to hold a union election. So funny timing that there's a fire at the warehouse a week before the second ever union election for an Amazon warehouse. If we could show the Derek Palmer tweet, my heart goes out to all the ALB1 Amazon workers in Skodak, and I hope every worker was evacuated safely so that those images show. I mean, it was a major fire. They actually sent workers home, unlike the Staten Island warehouse. And it is unheard of. I spoke with a worker this morning from the warehouse. They closed down the warehouse for the day shift today. A worker that I spoke with, when she got there this morning, because workers went to work before they got the alert that it's closed, all doors were open, the fans were running at full steam, and you could smell the residue
smoke
from outside. And what I was told is this was a compactor that lit on fire. That's what they used to break down the cardboard boxes.
Right.
That's the same thing that happened at the Amazon in New York, which we're going to get to in a minute. Listen, I don't have any evidence, but it is interesting that this happens a week before the union election. Interestingly, they closed down the day shift, but they're having the night shift workers
And
come
my
in.
understanding, Jordan, is they don't receive their pay if this happens?
Actually, they did give pay for the day shift today.
Okay, well, good for that then.
They did give pay for the day shift today, so the one good thing Amazon's ever done. But they're bringing they're bringing the night shift workers back. So I don't know how that works. That it's too dangerous for the day shift workers, but then like at a certain hour, it's fine.
Okay. Are they trying to air out the smoke then with the fans? Is that what's?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's a major fire, that's going to take longer.
Days.
Right. But suddenly, they're bringing the night shift workers back in tonight. So follow up. I want to show a little clip from this interview. I just happened to interview a worker from there before the fire because their union election is next week. One of the first things she said to me is the major reason that they're going even beyond just wages is safety. Let's take a listen.
As the longer I worked there, the more I saw the issues in the warehouse. Safety being first and foremost, injuries all the time. When a woman that I worked with was sent out and never returned, I think she had a head trauma that was just too bad for her to return to work. And so she basically never came back. I saw her once after the accident. And it's come to our attention that ALB1, the Amazon in Skodak, is the topmost number one when it comes to injuries, which not a great thing, right? So clearly there's something wrong with that picture. Number one. Number two, we are only paid $15 an hour in the warehouse to begin. I think it's like $15.40 they start you at. It's not sufficient. It's the job is really difficult. You're lifting heavy boxes all day. They expect you to do when you're packing, which is the department that I'm in. They expect you to be packing 60 boxes an hour, which is 1 per minute.
Yeah. So
that's wow.
But obviously, number one, nobody was hurt, so that's most important. But and that our full interview is up on the channel. We posted it this morning, so watch the interview. But another thing she said is they think they have a shot to win, but there are still some people on the fence. Well, a major fire might move them off the fence and say, maybe we do need a union here. And the fact that they're bringing people back less than 24 hours after, I don't think the smoke is all gone because I saw fire coming out of.
It's a safety issue. Yeah.
Right. So that was in Albany. On Monday, there was a fire in JFK 8, which was the Staten Island warehouse that won the election.
Right.
If you have that short video that shows some of that fire coming.
Evacuate! Let me go get my damn van! Yeah!
fire out of a compactor. Two sources I spoke with there, two workers said that same compactor that lit on fire, there was smoke coming from it a month ago.
And they didn't fix it.
Managers knew about it. Pretty sure Amazon could replace it overnight. They certainly have the money. And workers refused to go back for several hours because they could still inhale the smoke. Right. If we could show that other video, I think it is, Colin, of work.
You know, Jordan, too, it's not just the smoke, it's what's in the smoke. I would imagine those compactors that they're burning materials that have chemicals and toxins in them.
Correct. So Amazon suspended nearly 80 of those workers who held a little hour, 2 hour sit-in.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Yep, they suspended them. And by the way, there's video. It's not the best audio. We'll play it anyway. But there's video of a manager telling workers, if you don't feel safe, go home. If we could show that, Colin.
I appreciate your opportunity to cover this video. I truly do. Ultimately, you're open and operating. I encourage you to go home.
This is protected activity. Right now.
I can't make any decision regarding that right now. What I can do is tell you, if you don't feel safe, please go home.
So what I'm telling you is that
this is slavery!
No. Fucking slavery, man!
It's hard to hear, but he says, I can't make any decisions, but what I can tell you, if you don't feel safe, feel free to go home. A lot of them did. Now 80 are suspended. It's crazy. I mean, the fact that this isn't even covered in mainstream media, like, hey, get back there. Yeah, if you get a little lung damage or you feel a little faint from the flames, too bad. We need to, that wine mom mom needs her yoga mat by the morning. Right. It's absolutely outrageous.
It is outrageous.
We're, as a society, listen, tonight's Thursday. People will be watching Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. People people want their products, lickety split.
Yeah.
And you heard somebody shouting, this is slavery. This is slavery. I mean, it's just absolutely obscene.
I agree.
Nothing. I don't hear a damn thing.
But that's
from Democrats. I certainly don't hear anything from Republicans.
Oh, definitely not.
I don't hear anything from Democrats, the party of the working people. Nothing. These workers are on their own.
But this is the unionized facility. So now is the union going to be able to step in and do something about these suspensions, I'm wondering?
Yeah, so they're going to be 100% filing charges with the National Labor Relations Board. But remember, Amazon has not recognized the union. They're doing their own version of like what Trump did with the election, and they've been unsuccessful. The NLRB basically rejected Amazon's appeal, which was ridiculous, that the election was rigged or something like that. YouTube, I'm not saying it was.
It's the Amazon Stop the Steal version.
Yeah. But it is important because it's not getting a lot of coverage. I'm going to try to go up there on Monday to cover a rally. But this Albany warehouse, if they win, their election starts on October 12th, which is Wednesday. If they win, that would be the second unionized Amazon in just a few months. And we already have other warehouses, North Carolina, Kentucky, I think one other, has already started the process of trying to get the NLRB to allow a union election. At a certain point, if they get more wins, Amazon's going to have to recognize them. Sure, they'll then do what Starbucks is doing and start firing workers. And, they've already begun firing workers that were a part of Amazon labor union. But it's just reprehensible. And maybe the media will cover it when, unfortunately, people die in these fires. Yeah. And the other thing is, I didn't even show you. I'm sorry. Colin, could you show Alabama also had two fires? So that article is at the bottom, Colin. So, yes, we are on fire again. Fulfillment center evacuated a week after first fire. So there were two fires in Huntsville, Alabama. I believe also compactors at Alabama, compactors were the problem. On Monday night, employees in the Amazon fulfillment center were evacuated after a fire broke out within the warehouse. This is the second time the warehouse has had a fire reported in the past 2 weeks. The first was a week ago today. According to an employee at the warehouse, the employees returned to work last night. Our plant caught on fire again. This time it was in the same area, but it was a couple aisles over. We opened up Sunday night after being closed for almost a week. So they were closed for almost a week. You could still smell smoke in there. Half of the warehouse was off limits. So they were closed for a week, and they come back
and they can still smell
smoke. Amazon in Albany closes for less than 24 hours and is bringing workers back tonight.
That's crazy.
I mean, they didn't give a shit about COVID.
Also,
either.
what is going on that all of their compactors are catching on fire? There's obviously a equipment issue here.
Well, the broader question is, what else is malfunctioning? We know that they apparently
they're obviously not keeping things up to date. You know,
we know their warehouses don't believe in air conditioning. Well, scratch that. They have air conditioning for the executives in HR.
Not for the floor.
Not for the floor people. They're allowed fans to blow the heat back to them. But yeah, there's obviously problems. And I don't know, does OSHA exist? Is OSHA going to go into these Amazons and check things out? Why have OSHA if they're just going to allow this shit? Because people are going to die at some point. People are going to die. And people, by the way, have died at Amazon in the past. Yeah. In the UK, there's been several incidences over the last decade. In America, there's been 2.